Hey guys, thank you for joining me for another episode of Undeniably Nikki. I am so excited to be talking to you guys again, as I always am, of course. Just want to chat it up with you a little bit, to get into some hot topics and just discuss some things that are going on. But before we get into any of that, I just need you guys to do me a favor and make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell, ding, and just make sure that you're commenting and sharing and liking these episodes. If you're liking what you're seeing, you may not like what you see. You know, I have had on a couple of episodes, I've had one person do a thumbs down, and I'm always like, what the heck? But honestly, I'll take it, because you know what? Any feedback is good feedback, because you learn and you grow from it. With that said, I still don't know why there was a thumbs down. People could also just be hating, you never know. But either way, I'm excited to always get on here and just talk to you guys and just, talk about everything that's going on in the world, share a little bit about what's going on with me and my life. So I'll take any type of feedback that you guys give me. So what's going on with me? Well, let's see. Let's go ahead and get into that. Honestly, guys, I've just been dealing with a lot of stuff lately, and it's so funny because I'm such a person who tries to stay positive and upbeat and everything, and it has been really hard the past couple of weeks, and not even just the past couple of weeks, just honestly, I feel like I've been up and down throughout this entire pandemic, just emotionally, and I think a lot of that is because when you have to slow down in your life, I was a person who was super busy all the time. And now I'm only honestly really busy with work. When before I used to have a super busy social life and a super busy work life. And now all I have that's super busy for me is work right now. So when I'm not working, I have time to kind of think about a lot of things. I've had to slow down because of the pandemic. And because of that, I had to take note and just kind of really sit back and think about things. You find yourself thinking more because it's quiet, right? Because your life has slowed down. And so you have to just take moments and just kind of examine things and examine what truly makes you happy and what truly gives, I've had to truly think about what gives me joy and what doesn't give me joy. And, I've learned a lot in the past months during this whole pandemic that we've all been dealing with. And there are things that give me just great joy. But then there are some things that I may have to let go of. And, that's hard to come to that realization about things, And also, I've just been thinking a lot about where I am in my career and if I feel satisfied. And if this is enough for me and if I'm okay. And I've come to a lot of hard realizations with that. And so yeah, I've been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of soul searching, going through a lot of things. My heart has been involved in a lot of things. And because I am a person who leads with my heart more than anything, sometimes, it gets me in trouble. So yeah, I've just been going through and dealing with a lot lately. And, I've been praying and asking God to just guide me, and help me to really hear him, and to really be quiet, be still, and truly just hear what he is trying to tell me, show me, pay attention to the way in which he is trying to direct me. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of stuff like that lately. But also with everything too, you realize just how grateful you are and how blessed. I've realized how blessed I am because, even though, I have my own concerns with my job and how it stresses me and how it affects me physically, I will say that I am blessed that I do at least still have a job, because there's so many people who lost just everything during this pandemic and who are out of work, who are on the street, who who are just dealing with so much, who've lost loved ones. And so it's like also a time of putting things in perspective and truly self-reflecting. And you know, but like I always say, I feel like I always say this, I feel like God needed the world to get quiet and to remember him and to talk to him, because we all know what life was like before a pandemic and how chaotic and crazy and busy it could be, that you forget to make time to do the simple things, you know, of, you know, just getting quiet and being one with yourself and being in your thoughts and talking to God, you know. So that's what's been going on with me. You know, I don't want to bore you guys too much with any more of the details. I really don't want to go into them, honestly. But yeah, I've just been doing a lot of self-reflecting, a lot of trying to strategize of what my next step would be, as far as like making sure that I'm truly living my purpose-driven life and making sure that I am doing something that fulfills me, because that's so important to me. Like, it is more than money, more than anything. It is so important for me to feel like I am living a life that is my purpose, you know, that is driven by what I am supposed to be doing here on this earth, you know. And sometimes when you get in the monotonous of being in a career that you've been in for 15 years, almost 15 years, not completely 15 years, it'll be 15 years next June, you kind of forget, you get in the motion doing the same thing every day, right? And you, somewhere down the line, like you forgot your purpose, you forgot to truly discover your purpose, and you're just doing the same thing every single day, and you're like, is that really making me happy? Is that really fulfilling me? You know. And so you have to ask yourself those tough questions, and if the answers come out to be no, then you have to make the decisions and do what you have to do to make sure that you are going in that direction and going towards the way of doing what it is that you are supposed to be on this earth to do. Like, life is so precious, and I don't know why I'm getting emotional, sorry, but life is so precious, and we don't have a lot of life that is available to us to continue to live. We only get a certain amount of time, and so we have to make the most of the time that we get. And sometimes, like, you'll just get in a routine and you're not making the most of it, you know. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to literally be on this earth doing what I'm supposed to do, living my purpose-driven life, and truly, like, being happy with everything, with what I'm doing every single day, you know, having fulfillment, feeling like I'm adding good to the world with what I'm doing, feeling like I'm, you know, making the world a better place with what I'm doing. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of self-reflecting, and been watching a lot of movies, because, you know, when you go into deep thoughts, sometimes you got to get into some comedies to kind of bring you out, so that you can, you know, get back into your happy space. And so I've been watching comedies. I've been watching, oh my God, I've been binge watching The Walking Dead, which is not a comedy, but I've literally been binge watching it since September. I started the first season in September, and I'm already caught up to season 10, which just ended. So I'm on the second or third episode of season 10. Oh my God, you guys, I'm so late to the game. Like, that show is so freaking good. Like, I don't know what took me so long to watch it. It's so freaking good. So if you guys haven't watched The Walking Dead, I'm telling you, you should watch it. It's so good. So yeah, watching that. I've been watching old episodes of A Different World, which is like one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. I used to love that when I was a kid. I would watch The Cosby Show. Me, my mom, and my sister, we would watch The Cosby Show, and then we would watch A Different World afterwards, every Thursday night on NBC. And it is actually on Amazon right now. So I've been watching. I started with season 1. And you know, like, season 1 of A Different World, Denise is still on there. So I've been watching that. Some of the comedies I've watched that are so funny. Oh my God. I saw What Men Want with Taraji P. Henson. It's so freaking funny. It gave me such a kiki, which I love, like having a little kiki. I watched this other romantic comedy called Set It Up, and that's with Taye Diggs and Lucy Liu, and that is on Netflix. Really cute and really funny. And it wasn't even necessarily Taye Diggs and Lucy Liu. They're the big names that's attached to the movie, but they're not really necessarily the main characters. The two main characters, I don't really know their names, but they're so cute, and I don't know, I really like them. And I don't want to give it away, so I can't tell too much. So that's another cute romantic comedy. What else did I watch? I watched this one with Damon Wayans' son. I can't remember what it was called. Oh, but it was basically, I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically, he had gone on like 1,000 dates on this dating app. And he ended up suing the company because he did not find love. Oh, Love Guaranteed. That's what it's called. I think it's called Love Guaranteed. And the app was guaranteeing that he would find love. Well, he didn't find love. And so he decided to sue the dating app. And going through the whole process of suing the dating app, all this stuff comes out. I can't really tell you because then it's going to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it for you. But that is another good romantic comedy. And that's on Netflix too. So yeah, I've just been in a lot of like trying to catch up on my shows that I already watched, but while picking up new stuff, while watching new movies. Me and my sister, you know, after we did the episode last weekend, I told you that we went to dinner at this hookah lounge, and that was a lot of fun because I hadn't been out the house to go out to dinner or something in like maybe a few weeks or whatever. The last time I went to brunch with my friends. And it's so crazy because you guys know I live in Vegas, right? So every place in Vegas is typically pretty busy, you know? But because of everything that's going on, it hasn't been that way. And so it's kind of weird like to go to these spots that are normally like these happening spots, and so you go in there, and then because they're doing social distancing and stuff, it's like not as many people. So then the atmosphere still feels a little weird. But you just roll with it because you know what? At least these businesses are sticking. You know, some of them are sticking, and they are trying to adhere to social distancing and stuff like that. And I can't fault them on that. I actually appreciate that. So I'm here for it. But yeah, we went out. We had fun. What else did we do? Yeah, that's pretty much it. We were together that entire weekend because she took that weekend off because she was supposed to have friends who were coming into town, but they ended up not coming. And because her best friend Keisha was supposed to come, because they didn't come, so she still had this weekend off. So we ended up just spending the whole weekend together, which was great because, you know, I love spending time with my sister. And then let's see, what else has been going on? I was going to say, oh, okay. So the week before last, I was off for that entire week, right? So I was like making sure I was like getting out, doing more things, being more active, because I literally work all day. I work from home and I literally sit all day because what I do is I write stories and I do social media and stuff like that for my station that I work for. And because of that, it's like you really can't get up as much. There's always freaking breaking news coming in. So I'm always like this, like on the keyboard like this. So I was like, okay, I'm off this week, so I'm going to make sure I'm getting out, I'm being active. I'm not going to just sit in the house. I'm going to actually get outside and do stuff. So I went on walks, long walks. I went back to the gym, had my mask on, was doing weights and stuff like that. And then I decided to try hot Pilates because my one friend, Vanessa, always talks about hot Pilates, how much she loves it and how great it is. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. So I went on this app. It's called Mind and Body app. And what you can do is you can kind of search and it'll show you like different places that are offering classes at different workout facilities in your neighborhood. So I went to Inferno and I went to Hot Pilates. And y'all, first of all, the class was super expensive. It was like $25 for a class, which is, hello? I think that's kind of ridiculous, right? But excuse me, whatever. I paid for it. Went to Hot Pilates. Y'all, it kicked my butt. kicked my butt. Okay, so doing Pilates and stuff like that, it's already kind of difficult to begin with. You know, the stretching and the, you know, everything that you're doing, that you do in Pilates. But then you add increased temperature that is like, I was drenched, like puddles of sweat. I was proud of myself though, because it was kicking my butt. It was kicking my butt, y'all. It was kicking my butt, but I'm so proud of myself because so the class was like an hour, right? But I went 45 minutes. 45 minutes in hot Pilates before I had to step out the room. And at this point, I had to just step out because I literally felt like I was gonna pass out. So I was like, okay, don't be stupid, try to hang in, like just step out for a sec, cool down, and then you can come back in. So I stepped out the room. I was out like for maybe 5 minutes, and then I came back in for the final 10 minutes and I finished up the class. So yeah, it was crazy tough. It kicked my butt. I was sore. The soreness kind of just creeped up on me because I wasn't exactly sore the day of. And the next day, I was only sore a little bit, but then I got super sore by the second day. But honestly, I'm so happy I did it and I loved it. I felt like I got such a great workout. And then the fact when you're like sweating so much, like puddles, you really feel like you're really doing the work and kicking your own butt. So I loved it. And my teacher, shout out to her, Alex. That was the girl who taught that class. She was great. So anyway, so I think I'm going to try it again. But I'm trying to debate if I'm going to do a membership, just because $25 a class, like that's super expensive. Like I don't want to pay 25 bucks a class. That just seems, I don't know. It just seems like a lot, where I'd rather just pay a membership. So I'm still trying to see if I love it enough to pay a membership, because if I did do a membership, it's going to be like $100 something a month. And I honestly don't really even want to pay that either, because I already have a gym membership at LVAC and I love it, which is the Las Vegas Athletic Club. And for my gym membership, I pay like 25 bucks. So I pay monthly 25 bucks for LVAC, which is what I pay for one class of hot Pilates. So like I said, I'm still trying to figure out and see if it's worth the money and if I'm really gonna like make time to go, because that's another thing. Since being back at work, I've only worked out like, so last week I went back to work from my vacation and I only worked out twice in that 1 week because I just haven't had the time, because work takes up so much of my time. And then by the time I get off of work, I'm exhausted. And then by the time I wake up from work, I literally only have enough time to kind of just get ready for work. I have like an hour and a half, which is not enough time to go out and do a really good workout and get ready for work. So yeah, that's just what's been going on with me. Nothing else, y'all. You know, I'll always keep y'all abreast of what's happening if there's anything else that's going on. But yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on with me. So now let's get into some topics. And today I want to start with some Black excellence. I haven't done a Black excellence shout out in a while, but I definitely wanted to do a couple today. And first I want to start with Aja Brown. Aja Brown is the mayor of Compton. And hold on, let me pull it up. She has started a new initiative to help her residents, and it's pretty amazing. So hold on, let me tell you about it. Okay, so she is doing this because she wants to help her residents who are possibly struggling and going through right now because of the coronavirus. So what Mayor Aja Brown is doing, she announced the Compton Pledge. The Compton Pledge, which will provide guaranteed income in the form of recurring cash relief payments to 800 residents who live in Compton. So they're going to randomly select 800 low-income residents who live in Compton, and they're going to give them payments that is going to aid in kind of like COVID relief. They're going to give them payments every month to help them during this pandemic. And it's guaranteed income. And at this point, we don't know exactly how much it's going to be, but they did say it's going to be several $100s, and only one person per household can qualify for it. So like if there is, you know, several people living in this household, a mother and a father, only one of them can enter in an effort to try to get this COVID relief funding. So yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to her, Aja Brown. She is super dope. She is also like one of Compton's like youngest mayors that they have ever had, and I think this is super cool that they're doing this, you know, because there are just so many people, y'all, who are just really going through because of the pandemic, who are still out of work. You know, I have some friends who are still out of work, and you know, they're getting unemployment and stuff, but you know, that's only so much that can do, and you got to put any money that you're getting in unemployment to go towards, you know, paying your rent and any leftover towards any household utilities and things like that. So any extra help that anyone can give anyone during this time, I know it's much appreciated. I know it is. So I just had to give a Black excellence shout out and salute Miss Aja Brown for everything that she is trying to do to make sure that her residents of Compton are taken care of. Now, my other Black excellence salute that I have to do is for this 12-year-old boy. This 12-year-old boy who has taken it upon himself to bring awareness about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we all know that October is the month for breast cancer awareness. So this kid, his name is Christopher Malou, and he lives in, I think he lives in St. Lucia. So he swam from St. Lucia to Martinique to raise awareness for breast cancer. This swim took him 13 hours, 50 minutes, and 47 seconds. Now, there are not a lot of people who have done this. There are, let's see, the people who have done this and done it successfully is this one guy who's 71 years old now. His name is Jaquise, I want to say Sakat, and he completed it at age 39, and then he did it again at 69. And then this other guy named, he's a French Olympic and European swimming champion. His name is Giles Roundy. Giles Roundy. He did it too. So for this kid to be the first kid to actually do this, and for him to be this adorable little 12-year-old Black boy, it's just, I just think it's so cool. And I think he's just so inspiring that he did this. And you know, during his swim, he was accompanied by his father, who was in like a little boat on the side. And usually when people do swims and things like this, there's always someone on the side in a boat, and there's always a doctor accessible just in case something happens and they got to pull them on the boat really quickly because they can't make it, or there's a shark or something like that. So yeah, his father was there with him as he did it, and he did it. Like, again, it took him 13 hours, 50 minutes, and 47 seconds to do it. So little Christopher Malou, I salute you, and I am so proud of you, and I hope that what you have done has not only inspired adults like me, because it has, but I hope that it has also inspired the youth. You know, the youth, to show them that they can do anything. They're not too young. They can step up and do whatever it is that they want to do. So again, I just want to salute this kid for being the epitome of Black excellence. Now, let's get into some hot topics, okay? So first, I want to talk about some couples news. You know, I love to talk about the couples, y'all. However, this one is sad. It's not necessarily some good couples news. I mean, it may be for them, but you know, I'm a little sad for Taraji. But apparently Taraji P. Henson and her fiance, they have called off their wedding. They have called it quits, and they are no longer together. So Taraji was on, this information came out. First of all, people have been kind of speculating for a minute now that maybe they weren't together anymore because one, they haven't been seen in public together in a long time, one, which honestly, that's not that big of a deal because there just aren't a lot of people that are out and about like they used to be because of the coronavirus pandemic, one. Two, the other reason people were speculating that they were no longer together is because Taraji just turned 50 years old. I think she turned 50 last month or either earlier this month. I want to say it was earlier this month. And she went on this girlfriend's like getaway vacation for her 50th birthday. And people thought that was weird that her fiance was not there with her. Which I didn't, because I feel like even though like when people are a couple, you don't have to like be together all the time. Like he can go on a boys trip, I can go on a girls trip. That's not a big deal. So that didn't necessarily bring a red like flag towards me that maybe they were broken up, but a lot of people did think that they were because of that. So anyway, Taraji P Henson just came out and said that they are no longer together, and she talked about it on the Breakfast Club when she and this is what she said. I'm gonna play a little bit of what she said. Hold on.
And a lot of times it's difficult, and I'm dedicated to the black man, y'all. I just turned 50 and
wow.
You know, and I haven't said it yet, but it didn't work out. You know what I mean? And I tried. I was like, therapy, let's do the therapy thing. But if you're both not on the same page with that, then you feel like you're taking it on yourself. And that's not a fair position for anybody to play in a relationship. My happiness is not his responsibility, and his happiness is not mine. We have to first learn how to make ourselves happy.
That was the interview that she did on The Breakfast Club. But she also went on to say, so she said, when one person is taking on the weight of the entire relationship, it's never going to work. You have to show up. Yes, you want to be understanding, but you can't lose yourself in that understanding. You have to still stand up for yourself and be there for yourself, but it's hard to do if the other person isn't doing that either. So, I totally get what she's saying with that, because I am a natural nurturer. I just am. I'm the natural person who like loves to hug, loves to give people, I love to uplift people. I love to talk from my heart of what I feel for someone and do positive words, affirmations, and things like that. And but there's only so much you can do, right? And it's true what she said about like you can't be understanding to the point where you lose yourself. And like me, I think I'm a very patient person and very understanding. I always try to put myself in other people's shoes, and always try to understand where people are coming from, because I've just always been like that. I think that's because I'm a bit of an empath, and I've just always been that type of person. But I do find that I have had experiences in relationships, or not even really relationships, because honestly I haven't had like a real true relationship, but I've had incidents where I've been dating people, but I've seen it where me trying to be so accommodating and understanding to them and what they're going through and what they need caused me to sacrifice what I needed. So I totally get what she's saying. And if I sacrifice what I need, if I sacrifice my well-being and what's good for me, then that's going to cause me to lose myself, because I'm not putting myself first like I should. And that's going to cause resentment to set in, and we never want that. So I totally get what she's saying, where you can't do the work for both people. Both people have to want to do the work. Both people have to already love themselves and should be loving themselves before they even get in a relationship. And then when you come together, if you both already have this genuine love for yourself, when you get together, it just makes it that much better, because your love that you have for yourself, and you combine that with the love that you have for each other, you're unstoppable. So I'm so sad, to see that this ended, but it sounds like didn't end in bad blood. It sounds like, you know, they both just knew that they either just need time or they're just not meant to be. Who knows? She didn't go into too much details about what's going on. I do know that they were supposed to get married this April. They had been together for 5 years, and they were supposed to get married this April, but then it got postponed because of the coronavirus pandemic. And, you know, I guess, you know, people being in quarantine and stuff together, and, you know, not really like having the day-to-day to keep you busy and keep you running around, that you don't even notice things that maybe have bothered you, or maybe that you guys never really dealt with, just kind of push you to the side because, you know, life has to keep going. Maybe things came to the surface that were pushed down, you know. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, it's over. But, you know, she seems good. She seems like she's in a great space. She seems happy. I just hope he is too. I hope he's okay. Hope he's in a great space. I hope he's, you know, learning from this, like it seems like she is. And I wish them both the best. You know, I think it's always better that people know before they get into marriage, because that is just so complicated, and it's just even harder. And I know this is hard for them too, because they've been together 5 years. But walking away from a partnership of 5 years is still as difficult as walking away from a marriage. But with marriage, you have to deal with all this legal stuff too that you don't necessarily have to deal with in a partnership. So, yeah, I just wish them the best, because anytime, you know, a relationship ends, and, you know, because I'm always a rooter for love. I root for love. So anytime I see anything like this, I'm always like, oh, you know, especially if they seem like they were super cute, right? So anyway, so yeah, that's all I have on that. Now, I need to talk to you guys about Shonda Rhimes, because you, like, I don't know if y'all know, but okay. So there's like a couple of women who are just like on my list, 3 who I'm just like, oh, I love them. I love them and would like love for them to mentor me. Oprah, obviously, everyone who knows me knows how much I love Oprah Winfrey. I have been a huge Oprah Winfrey fan and loved her since I was literally in junior high school. I started watching her show when I was in junior high school. So Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama. I just think she is the epitome of elegance and grace and class and just smart and a good heart, and just real. So Michelle Obama, and of course Beyonce, because it's Beyonce. Like, what else is there to say? I just love her. I just think she's brilliant. I think she's amazing. I just think she could do no wrong. And I love Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes, the creator of ABC's hit shows Grey's Anatomy, which has been on, I think Grey's Anatomy is on its like 20th season now or something like that. Or maybe it's 17th season. It's going into, I think, the 17th season. Scandal, which I loved, that had Kerry Washington in it. And Grey's Anatomy, of course, stars Ellen Pompeo. And then also How to Get Away with Murder, which stars Viola Davis. And How to Get Away with Murder actually just ended this year. In May was the last season. And then Scandal ended 2 years ago. So anyway, I love Shonda Rhimes. Like, she is amazing because, okay, I love her because I feel like I am a storyteller. I feel like I always have so many ideas and concepts for creating screenplays or writing a book. However, I don't quite know how to get the thoughts in here on paper. I don't know how to organize it and put it all together. And so I've always said I'm going to take Shonda Rhimes masterclass as soon as I get, you know, where I can slow down a little bit and actually focus on it. I'm going to take her master's class because I know I am a writer deep inside. I know, like, even though I also feel like I'm like Oprah, like a talk show host, I also know that I'm a writer. I really love writing. I I used to write a lot more when I was younger than I do now, but now I just kind of keep a lot of thoughts in my head or whatever. So I love Shonda Rhimes, and I just love her story. And she's a black woman and has been on top when it comes to creating series and shows. And I'm just like, oh, she's amazing. I just love her so much. So recently she came out and talked about why she left ABC. Now, Shonda Rhimes basically left ABC because of a a ticket to Disney World or Disneyland, a pass. Okay, so it's not as simple as that, but because if it was just as simple as that, it would be a little petty. But for her, it's more of the principle, and I totally get it. So I'm gonna tell you like why she left. Okay, so she opened up about leaving ABC, which she has made billions of dollars for ABC with programming, because the shows I named were literally the top ABC programs for like, I don't know how long. And Grey's Anatomy is still there. So it's still one of the top ones. And then she also created Station 19, which does well. That is on ABC too. She's created so many shows for ABC. So anyway, so Shonda Rhimes basically said she left ABC because she's ready to get her own shit. That was her quote. And Netflix is basically the company that's going to offer that to her. So she said in an interview, she said this is from the Hollywood Reporter, she was tired of the battles. She was producing some 70 hours of annual television and that was airing in 256 territories, okay? She was making tens of millions of dollars for herself, but then making $2 billion for Disney/ABC every single year. And basically the respect just wasn't there. Like, so she said, so what was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back is that, okay, so she's a single mom. And so when she first became a part of ABC, they give like all, I guess like the heavy big wigs, like maybe the top stars and maybe, like the creators, they give them this Disney pass. So it's like basically you can go to Disney whenever you want. It's like I think it's like I don't know how much it costs, but it gives you like these perks and stuff at Disney or whatever. So Shonda Rhimes, who's a single mom, had asked could she have a pass for her nanny too. So they kind of gave her a little pushback on it, but then they gave her the pass for her nanny too, because she's like, I'm not going to be able to take my kid. It'll be my nanny taking my kid. And apparently the passes aren't interchangeable. So she asked for one for the nanny too. So they gave her a pass for the nanny. So then like a couple of years later, her sister came to visit and was going to be staying with her for a while to help out with her kid or whatever. And she asked for a pass for her sister too, because her sister was going to be the one who was going to be taking her, I think Shonda has a daughter, her daughter to Disney or whatever, Disneyland, or I'm going to say Disneyland because it's in LA, not Disney World, which is in Orlando. And so when she went and asked for this pass, apparently they gave her the pass. They gave her pushback about giving her the pass. And then this is a woman who makes $2 billion for your company, by the way. They give her a pushback about giving her this pass. And I think what the pass does is it like gets you get in the park for free, and then you get like a VIP escort or something like that to go to the different rides and stuff with you, type of thing. It's an all-inclusive pass to Disneyland. That's what it is. So she negotiated a second one for her nanny. She had to negotiate this, and then she asked for one for her sister when her sister came. So they gave her like drama about giving her this pass. They finally gave it to her. Her sister goes to Disneyland, takes her niece, and the pass doesn't work. So then Shonda calls them. She's like, hey, they're there, but the pass isn't working. So when she calls them, the executive, to just be like, hey, you know, can you fix this? The guy's like, don't you make like millions of dollars? I'm sure you can afford a $154 ticket. So, like I said, to anyone who doesn't really look deep into the story, this could seem petty that she left because of a whole Disney thing, but I don't think it was just that. I think it was the straw that broke the camel's back, you know, as she kind of describes, because it's like, where is the respect? You know, one of the things she said is that she already felt like in that environment, and we've all seen the allegations that have come out, allegedly, the allegations that have come out against this one woman who was head of ABC. Very toxic allegations. This woman was awful. I had a friend who used to be a correspondent for ABC, and she actually wrote a little op-ed just talking about everything that she went through and saying that the allegations against this woman were awful. So I think this is the woman that Shonda Rhimes was kind of dealing with too. No one had anything nice to say about her because she was kind of like the nastiest human being. So I think for her, it was more of the principle. It's like, how dare you, you know? And if that's the case, if I make millions of dollars, you're sure I can afford a $154 ticket, then what's the big deal of you freaking giving me this pass when I make $2 billion for you? You know? So I get it. I get it. It's the principle thing. It's not even about the money for her. It's the principle, and it's the lack of respect, you know? So she said, one of the things she also said is that she felt like she was dying there. She felt, let me see. She said, I felt like I was dying. Like I'd been pushing the same ball up the same hill in the exact same way for a really long time. She said she knew her breaking point would come, and that was pretty much it. But she said she never predicted that would be her breaking point, but that was her breaking point. So I totally get where she's coming from. Like I said, some people may look at it as like, oh my God, you're being petty. But honestly, the feedback has not been that negative. It hasn't been negative with this. I think it's because we all kind of understand what that's like. We all understand being in a, working for companies who don't appreciate you, who take advantage of your value. You know, they devalue you, you know, and at some point you start to devalue yourself. And when that happens, that is when it is time to go, because we are so valuable. We are so important. The work that we do, and I'm saying we, just meaning we as people, you know, and no company has the right to ever devalue us or to ever make us feel small and make us feel that way. So yeah, y'all, Shonda was just spilling all the tea. And then she ended up talking about how the work environment was completely different at Netflix. It's so much better. By the way, Netflix paid her a deal of $300 million. She left ABC, where she's not making that, to go to Netflix, where she's going to be creating content for Netflix for $300 million. So I'm happy for my girl. I totally get where she's coming from. I too have felt like I am pushing the same ball up the same hill. I too have felt like I cannot take one more day of this. I cannot take one more day of this. Or the stress from the job where you're feeling like this job is killing me, and you don't want to speak those words, because I'm a strong believer, and be careful what you say, because you don't want to speak those words into you and put them on your life. But I totally understand where she's coming from. I get it. So anyway, I just want to wish Shonda the best. And the thing is, people love what she creates and what she does. So here's the thing. ABC messed up, because guess what? All those views that they were getting on prime time throughout the week from this woman literally had multiple shows on multiple days throughout the week that were bringing in tons of ratings for ABC. They're going to Netflix now. So, you know, I hope this is like a learning lesson. You got to treat people better than what you're doing. You got to like value your employees. You got to value the people who are working for you and treat them well, because one day you're going to look up and they're going to be gone, and you have no one to blame but yourself. And you know what? They're going to be in a place that's so much better for them mentally, physically, spiritually, and you're going to be kicking yourself like, I wish I never lost that person. I wish I never lost that employee or that creator of the shows for this network. So Listen, I was all here for her spilling all this tea. And, you know, I'm proud of her too, because as a black woman, a lot of the times, like, I feel like we take more shit than we need to take, especially in the workplace, because we try to avoid that stigma of being the angry black woman. Because, you know, if a white woman is assertive, they're assertive. If a black woman is assertive, we're a bitch or we're angry. And so, you know, a lot of the times we don't stand up for ourselves like we should, because we're trying to make sure that there is continued opportunities for people who are like us, who are coming after us, who's going to come into positions after we're gone. And we want to make sure that those opportunities continue to happen. So a lot of times we put up with shit that we shouldn't even have to put up with. And we don't stand up for ourselves like we should. So I will say, like me, I stand up for myself at work. But I also pick battles. You know, I pick my battles. And sometimes I may need to pick more battles. You know what I'm saying? And seeing this... seeing her do this, it just gave me a little bit more courage, a little bit more of being willing to, you know, do what's right for me. And if a situation is not right for me, then I got to move on, type of thing, you know. But yeah, it definitely encourages me to just make sure that I am picking the right battles and stand up for myself a little bit more. Because like I said, I'm the type of person, I stand up more for my coworkers and call out BS when it comes to things that they're dealing with, and actually will stand up to them and go to a manager and be like, well, actually, you know, than I will for me sometimes. And that's crazy. I should be standing up for myself with that same authority and confidence as I do for other people, you know. That's actually even one of the things that my managers put on my review, is that I'm often an advocate for my coworkers, because I just don't like seeing people treated wrong. And I do that for myself too, but a lot of times I let things slide a little bit more for myself than I do for other people. So I appreciate Shonda. I appreciate her being honest and letting us know, even if it seemed petty, it wasn't, because I get it. It was the last straw that broke the camel's back. It was just so many things that built up, and that was like the last little straw put on the camel, and it broke the camel's back. So I appreciate her for being honest and letting us know what's going on with that. And it also is making me give ABC even more side eye. Okay? Anyway, so what else I got going on? Oh, this is so cool. This is interesting, y'all. Okay, so did you guys know that George Clooney was the person who was originally tapped to be Noah in The Notebook? Yeah. Apparently, George Clooney was originally tapped to be Noah in The Notebook. So, here, let me tell you a little bit about that. So, George Clooney said that he was in talks with Paul Newman. And Paul Newman was actually supposed to play the older gentleman who well, I feel like everyone's seen The Notebook, so it's not really a spoiler. Spoiler alert if you haven't, but Paul Newman was supposed to play the older gentleman who represents Noah, and George Clooney was supposed to play the younger Noah, who ended up being played by Ryan Gosling. Now, here's the thing. That's crazy to me, because I couldn't even, like, I love George Clooney. I think he's so fine. I've had a crush on George Clooney since ER days, since he was on ER. I just think he's just such a sexy man. He's like a debonair, just a man. But I can't see him playing Noah. Like, Ryan Gosling was made for that role. He was perfect for that role. I just can't see anyone else playing Noah. But you know what? It's also too, like how they said, Jessica Simpson said in her memoir, like when it came out a few months ago, she said that she tested for The Notebook to be Allie, who is played by Rachel McAdams. So it's just weird, like how things turn out, and how people who are supposed to be in these roles didn't get in these roles, and the people who are in these roles, like I can't see anyone else as Allie other than Rachel McAdams, are the people who were meant for it, and you just can't see anyone else in those roles. that's just, to me, another example of like what is meant for you will be for you. Because George Clooney definitely was the bigger name. Jessica Simpson definitely was the bigger name than Rachel McAdams back then. But the people who were meant to get it were the ones who got it. And I honestly could not see anyone else in that beautiful film. Have y'all seen The Notebook? Like, I hope y'all have. It's just such a beautiful love story. I can't see anyone else in those roles other than Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams. So, George Clooney, thank you for turning it down. Thanks, boo. Okay, what else I got going on? Oh, okay. So I got some shadiness that's going on. Possible shadiness. So, it looks like Tyra Banks is throwing some shade at the Real Housewives. And by the Real Housewives, I mean all of the Real Housewives. So, this article came out saying that Tyra Banks, who is now the executive producer of Dancing with the Stars, basically was telling the casting directors that she doesn't want anyone cast from the Real Housewives of blah blah franchises, because there's so many, so I can't even just say all the different franchises, but you get what I'm saying. There's Atlanta, there's Dallas, there's Beverly Hills, there's Orange County, there's New Jersey, there's Potomac. I pretty much watch all of them except for Dallas. That's the only one I don't watch. But yeah, apparently Tyra Banks was saying that she doesn't think that they are the right caliber of reality star that Dance with the Stars should be going for, and that they need to start getting a higher caliber of stars to come on Dancing with the Stars. Now, I was looking at this like with side eye, like, really, Tyra? Like, that's very elitist and shady. So I'm hoping this isn't true. A part of me does not think it's true, because Tyra Banks, you know, once she stopped modeling, she had one of the top rated reality shows on TV for the longest time with America's Next Top Model. So I'm like, a part of me is kind of like, why would she say that when reality has treated her very well and made her a lot of money? But then a part of me also is like, but then why would that even come up unless, you know, she did say that? Is this a where there's smoke there's fire situation, you know? But either way, I just think the comment, whether she said it or not, I want to believe Tyra didn't say that, because that just doesn't seem like Tyra would be elitist like that, but you just never know. I want to say, whether she said it or not, I think it's a shady comment, and it's not cool. Like, just because they're on a reality show doesn't mean that they don't have the caliber that they can bring eyes to the ballroom. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to be a big fan of Dancing with the Stars. I used to watch it every season, and then I just got in a work schedule where I just didn't have time to watch it. I used to vote, y'all. I used to call and vote for people and text my vote in and everything. So yeah, I hope that's not true. I hope that Tyra really didn't say that, because I just think that's so messed up, and it's elitist to say something like that. Like, everyone can bring something, you know? It doesn't matter whether you're A-list, B-list, C-list, D-list. Everyone can bring something, and it's all about having fun anyway, right? And yes, Dancing with the Stars does help revive a lot of careers, but they've also had people on there who actually are in a thriving career at the moment, and what it does is it just puts their name out there to be a household name to more people. It gives them a little bit more notoriety. It doesn't necessarily revive their career. So yeah, I just think that's kind of shady if she did say it. But I don't necessarily believe that she said it, you know? Okay, let's see what else I got for you. Oh, okay. So I just want to give a little happy birthday shout out to Kim Kardashian. I know Kim, when it comes to Kim Kardashian, she is a very controversial topic amongst many in the Black community. I personally, though, I like her. I like Kim Kardashian. I like the Kardashians. I admit it. I have been a fan and liked their show since it came out in 2006. I have liked their show. So as a person who has been watching the show since 2006, I have a different experience of with them as far as like people who maybe just come in now and just think that all they do is appropriate, you know? So anyway, I brought this up because on the latest episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, you know, they talked about Kim's birthday and they threw her this surprise birthday party and stuff. And leading up to them showing us the surprise birthday party, you know, Khloe was asking her, you know, like, how do you feel about turning 40 and stuff? And Kim was like, you know, I'm not necessarily scared about turning 40. It's just kind of more of like, holy crap, I'm 40, you know? And I totally get that. I totally get that because I turned 40 this year too. And I think the reason a lot of us feel that way when you get to a certain age, I've never been a person who has ever been afraid of aging, because I know it's such a blessing. I always think of it like, you know, every age, I've always been like, okay, I'm seeing this age and I know it's a blessing because someone wanted to see this age and they didn't. Someone wanted to see, like when I turned 38, I was like, okay, I'm seeing 38. Someone wanted to see it and they didn't. And then when I turned 40, I felt the same way, right? I know it's a blessing. But if you're not exactly where you thought you would be in your career, if you're not exactly where you thought you would be in your love life, I think that is why you have kind of those moments where you're like, holy crap, I'm 40. Like, what the heck, you know? Because I think that's what it was for me. You know, I'm grateful. Like I said, I'm super grateful that I'm 40. But I have moments where I'm like, oh, I'm 40. You know? Just because I'm just not where I thought I would be. I thought I would be in different places in my life. Career-wise and relationship-wise. And I'm not there. And so for me, it's a part of me feels like I've kind of failed a little bit. Failed on my journey in getting there sooner. And I know I shouldn't think that way, but that's just what it is. And I think that's why sometimes I'm like, ooh, I'm 40. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a mix for me. A part of me is like, yay, I'm 40 because I'm still here. And I know how blessed I am to be here and healthy and happy and good. But the other part is like, oh, I'm 40. There's still so much I have to do and I haven't done. What have I been doing? What have I been doing with my time? You know, it's kind of like that. It's a little bit of that balance of the panic and the excitement. So I get where she's coming from with that. How have you guys felt when you've reached a certain birthday milestone? Just comment below and let me know what you think about that. Doesn't necessarily have to be 40. It could be older. It could be younger. I just want to know what were your thoughts when you reached a certain big birthday milestone, and did you have some apprehensions because you weren't in the place where you thought you should be at that moment? So please make sure you comment. Let me know what you're thinking in regards to that. Actually, you can just comment and let me know what you're thinking in regards to everything we have discussed. Oh, so yeah, I totally get where Kim's coming from with that. But I am working on that. And I'm trying to like not get caught up in time frame. You know, I personally feel like time frame is something that society has put on us where, especially women, where you feel like you have to have certain things by a certain time, or you're this or you're that. And that's not true. And we've got to get that out of our head. You know, that's why I love like Tracy Ellis Ross so much. Tracy Ellis Ross is 47 years old, never been married, hasn't been in that many long-term relationships. I feel like, you know, she's been single more than she's been in like long-term relationships. Oh, excuse me. But I also don't know because she keeps things private when it comes to relationships. But I have just so much like reverence for her and admiration for her because she seems to not let the fact of her almost being 50 and still not married and still not in like a long-term relationship. She seems to not let that get her down. She seems to like, you know, continue to thrive and not like kind of cringe like, ooh, I'm 47 type thing, you know? And that is like what I am aspiring for. You know, it's so crazy because I've always been the type of person who is like, I've loved being single. I love my independence because I'm a very independent person. I like to be able to get up and go as I please and not have to, you know, discuss it with anyone, just do me, you know. But as I get older, I do find that I want that companionship more, you know. And I think a lot of that too comes from the fact that I've been going to therapy, trying to heal from my childhood traumas in regards to my father and how he mentally abused me as a child. So I think me being able to grow from that and trying to heal from that has made me in a space where I'm more open to wanting relationships and wanting love, and me being able to address that which I have pushed down, but actually face it head on and decide and choose to walk in a space of forgiveness and healing every day, even when it's hard. I think that is why too I'm kind of in the space of like, oh, where's my person, you know. So yeah, I totally got where she was coming from, and that's why I wanted to discuss it and tell you guys about it. So yeah, please make sure you comment and just let me know what you think in regards to your own experience with birthday milestones and how you felt about them and everything like that. Okay, let's see. Last on my list for today is okay, I'm gonna end this, y'all, with some foolishness. So in today's foolishness, we got to talk about Tory Lanez. We have to talk about Tory Lanez and how he needs to learn to shut the hell up. Like, homeboy is bugging. Like, what is he doing? So you guys all know that Tory Lanez has been getting drags ever since it came out that he allegedly shot Meg Thee Stallion in her feet, right? So his latest thing he did was last week. He was all on Instagram Live, and he was basically just trying to poke all these holes in Meg's story of how she wasn't shot in her feet. How could she be shot in her feet if we've only seen an injury for one foot? And how can she be shot in her feet if there's no exit wound? Just all this stuff, you know. First of all, everyone knows if someone gets shot, there's not necessarily always an exit wound. Like, you watch any movie and they're like, if someone gets shot, they're like, oh, it went straight through and through. Like, or someone's like, there's no exit wound. Like, you've seen movies where people say that. So that's not even a good argument, Tory. Second of all, she has documents and paperwork that she's had to show because of stupid people who refuse to believe her and think she just wants to take down a black man, which is crazy, even though everything she has done suggests that she has tried to protect said black man, even after he allegedly shot her. She has paperwork from Cedars-Sinai Hospital, which is like one of the top hospitals in LA, that says that this woman was shot in her feet, okay? And then he's like, you know, well, you guys are villainizing me and you're saying you're talking about protect black women as if I don't protect black women, and you're dragging me through the mud. And I'm just like, excuse me, sir. No one wants to listen to you play the victim right now.
Move this man!
Because guess what? The reason all this had to come out, the reason we have to know so much is because your people were putting out stories that were dragging this girl through the mud. Your people were putting out stories that had your little fans attacking this woman and dragging her through the mud and making it like she was a liar when she never said anything. She kept her mouth shut. You know, she tried to keep your name out of it. But you guys were doing shady stuff and getting her dragged to the point where she felt like she had to come out and defend herself. And then she had to sing and let it all be known. So nobody wants to hear this bullshit of you being the victim. You're not the victim, okay? You're not. You are the person who caused this. You are the person who, instead of being a freaking gentleman, which you even talked about, you know, you saw that Meg was getting drugged by everybody, but you didn't know if you should speak up and be like, you know, guys, leave her alone. You didn't speak up because you was trying to cover your own butt, and you know you were. So what I need you to do what I need you to do, Tory Lanez, which I'm tired of talking about you, so this may be my last time. I don't know. I need you to just take this whipping. You were an asshole. You probably were too drunk. You probably shot her on accident being stupid because you were being an asshole. And then you let this girl get dragged when you know damn well you were the one that did wrong. And now you want to play the victim because everybody else knows that you did wrong now too. So what I need you to do is shut up. Because guess what? You're not helping your case. To me, you look weak as hell. You look so weak. You look weaker each day. For the simple fact that you just can't freaking be a man and own up to what you did. And if you're not ready to own up to it, then shut the hell up. Ain't no need in continuing to drag this girl through the mud and try to create doubt around her story. Like, that's crazy to me. That is absolutely crazy to me. That's the issue that people have an issue with, is how you handled all of this. You know, it's unfreaking believable to me. Unbelievable. You tried to make it like she was just jealous, so she created a lie. You still have not come out and said you have not shot her. You have not said that. You've done everything else. You're doing all these theatrics, but you can't say it because you know it's not true. You know you shot that girl. You know you shot her. And no one's saying that you did it on some malicious stuff. I think you was just stupid, drunk, and dumb, and you did some stupid stuff. But how you're acting, how you're maliciously trying to drag her through the mud now, how you're trying to cast a shadow of doubt on her story, even though there is medical proof that shows what you did, to me that says a lot. That says a lot. That says a lot about you and your character. You have a horrible character. And you need to take this moment to humble yourself. Humble yourself. This is going to court. Stop talking on Instagram. Who's representing you? Who are your lawyers? Who's your publicist? Why are they letting you talk? What are you doing? I just feel like you're digging a hole deeper and deeper for yourself that you won't be able to get out. Shut up. Plus, you just look like such a liar, and you look weak. You look weak. So that's all I got to say about Tory Lanez. I'm over him. I think he's ridiculous. I think it's so messed up for what he allegedly did. And I think what's even more messed up is that there are so many women who refuse to believe Meg and are believing this nonsense of him because you're like, oh, I love you, Tory. Yeah, she's lying. That's crazy. Come on. Come on, man. Anyway. So that's all I have on that. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. That's all I got as far as hot topics, the announcements. Yeah, that's it. I just want to thank y'all again for tuning in for another episode of Undeniably Nikki. I really enjoy my time talking to you guys. It is an outlet for me. It's an outlet to do one of the things I love, which is discuss hot topics and entertainment and just talk about things that's on my mind, So thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure you're telling your friends and your family about it. Please make sure you're subscribed. All you have to do is hit that bell. And also just make sure you're commenting and just joining into a discussion with me. Because like I said, I always go down there and I talk in the comments below with you guys. And I just appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. And I will see you back here, same time, same day, for another episode of Undeniably Nikki next week. Bye, guys.